My apologies, my video cut off. So, let's go ahead and check out our wind for today. So, let's go ahead and make that blue rectangle around wind right here. We did temperature, just finished precipitation, and now we're on wind. You'll know you're there once you see the arrows with the different wind speeds. And then to find our average wind speed today, we're going to look up where we just looked at precipitation and look at, so precipitation, humidity, and wind. And we're going to see what speed is after the word wind. So W-I-N-D is how you spell wind. And then I see 8 mph, or our average wind speed will be 8 miles per hour. So this is a nice light breeze. Unfortunately, it won't be enough to really break up that heat because it is in the lower, it is a lower speed. However, it will probably feel nice once the wind somewhat blows to kind of break that heat up. So unfortunately, we won't have any cloud coverage or really any wind to to really break up that heat that we're going to feel today. So again, I want to stress how important it is to make sure that you stay hydrated by drinking lots of water today. Stay in the shade if you go outside, and wear your sunscreen also. Sunscreen is so important. And I understand when I was your age, I didn't want to wear sunscreen because I wanted to be tan. However, you can still get a tan even when you're wearing sunscreen. The sunscreen just blocks those really dangerous light rays that come from the sun, and they damage our skin. So that's why we want to wear our sunscreen when we go outside. It's so important. I can't stress that enough. Okay. So now that we have checked out our weather for today, Wednesday, let's compare it to our expected weather for tomorrow, Thursday. So we can go ahead now and make a blue box around Thursday down here. And I will draw that out for you. So we have our blue box, and then THU, which is short for Thursday, the type of weather we're supposed to have. And it's changing it up on us a tiny bit, but we are very familiar with this weather symbol. It's the picture of the sun that is somewhat covered by some clouds. And then I see two temperatures. I see 101 or 101 degrees and 68 degrees. So if we have our blue box around Thursday, imagine this is a blue box, THU, which is short for Thursday, the type of weather we're supposed to have tomorrow, and then we're only going to look at one of these temperatures, and that one will be our highest expected temperature. So will 101 degrees or 68 degrees be our highest expected temperature tomorrow? So if you said 101 degrees, you're correct. So let's check that out. It's not too far off from where we are today. However, it is going to go up 1 degree. So we can find 100 and then just go up a little bit since our increments aren't marked anymore. And it'll be about right above this line here. So it is almost approaching the end of our temperature scale, meaning it will be very hot tomorrow as well. However, tomorrow's weather is going to be a little bit different, with that being, what type of weather will we have? Instead of sunny like today, what will it be tomorrow? So if you said partly cloudy, you're correct. In this case, Google is of course saying that it's going to be mostly sunny. However, partly cloudy, mostly sunny, same thing to me. So we will thankfully have at least some clouds to break up that very hot temperature that's expected for tomorrow. All right, so now let's go ahead and write out our weather information as if we were in class. So today will be a high of 100 degrees and sunny. And then tomorrow will be a high of 101 or 101 degrees and partly cloudy. So here we are. Today, a high of 100 and sunny. Tomorrow, a high of 101 degrees and partly cloudy. All right. So that is all the weather information that we're going to look at today. However, you can look at whatever other information you would like to look at. I'm going to go ahead and move on to our social story portion of our morning meeting. And as I was saying, we're not going to have a typical social story because we're going to watch a little video on summer solstice. Just because this is our last week of school, and Fridays we do the mystery bag. So we only have, so today, Wednesday, and then tomorrow, Thursday, to have social stories, right? So and there's 2 official holidays in June, one of that being summer solstice. So we're going to talk about summer solstice today, and then tomorrow we'll talk about Father's Day. Even though it's not those days yet, I still want to at least kind of introduce you to what those things are, since we are not going to be able to talk about them together as a class on the actual days that they happen. So let's go ahead and move on, and I'm going to start this video.
It's almost time for a very special day. Can you guess why? No, it's not my birthday. Guess again. No, it's not the day of the big parade either. It's the longest day of the year, and it's the first official day of summer. There are lots of days that might seem really long. Maybe you felt that way when you were excited about something that was going to happen, like your birthday or the first day of vacation. The day before an exciting event can seem like it takes a long time, but even if a day feels that way, it's not really any longer. All days have the same amount of time in them, about 24 hours. When we say it's the longest day of the year, what we really mean is that there's the longest amount of daylight, which means the sun is up for the longest amount of time, and it's dark for the shortest amount of time. This special day is called the summer solstice, and when it happens, it's officially summer. Have you ever noticed that in the winter, it gets dark pretty early? It's probably dark before you even go to bed. But in the spring and summer, like now, the sun goes down much later. Yes, that's exactly what you asked about the other day. Squeaks asked if he could change his bedtime so it's after dark, since he doesn't like going to sleep when it's still light out. But instead, we just changed his curtains so they make the room darker, and that helped, right? We have a summer solstice every year because of the way our planet moves around the sun and how it's tilted. Because even though you don't feel it, the Earth is always moving. It takes a whole year for the Earth to go around the sun one time. And while it's moving around the sun, Earth is also spinning around in place around an imaginary line that we call the axis. The Earth's axis runs up and down, right through the North Pole and the South Pole. One turn on the Earth's axis takes 24 hours, and that's what makes one day. But there's something else about the Earth's axis. It isn't exactly straight up and down. It's tilted just a little bit. And it's this tilt that causes the summer solstice. Right now, the tilt is pointing the northern or top half of the Earth toward the sun, which means that during one spin, which remember is 24 hours, a whole day and night, The top half of the Earth spends more time in the sun than in the dark. The summer solstice is when the tilt is pointing us exactly toward the sun. Here in the top half of the world, that's usually on June 21st, although it's sometimes on June 20th or 22nd. Soon, the tilt will start to point more sideways compared to the sun, and eventually it will face away from the sun on what we call the winter solstice. That will be the shortest day of the year, with the least amount of sunlight. But for now, while we're pointed toward the sun, we get long, sunny days. For people who live in the southern half of the world, everything is opposite. When the Earth's tilt points the top half of the world toward the sun, it points the bottom half away from the sun. So for people who live in places like Australia or South America, it's about to be the shortest day of the year, not the longest. Their winter solstice is the same day as our summer solstice, and their summer solstice is the same day as our winter solstice. Since it's almost our summer solstice and the first day of summer, I'm going to stock up on some sunscreen. Squeaks and I hope you have a happy solstice, whether it's summer or winter. Thanks for joining us. If you want to keep learning and having fun with Squeaks and me, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to check us out on the YouTube Kids app. Thanks, and we'll see you next time here at the fort.
All right. So, I love the Mystery Science Show. I think this is a really awesome teaching source for that explains really well the different things that happen. And so this video I feel like explained really a lot better than I could have what happens as far as what during this what happens on the day of the summer solstice. So I hope you found this video interesting because I thought it was really interesting. And I'm going to post this on our Google Classroom. That way, if you want to show any family members or like siblings or anyone else to kind of like teach them about the summer solstice that's going to happen on the 20th, you can. So that is all I have for you today, but I hope that I see you all tomorrow at 1 p.m. for our 8th grade Zoom graduation celebration, because that would be really awesome for all of us to get on there together and really congratulate our friends who are moving on to high school. That's really exciting. I'm also really sad that I won't be seeing you next year. However, you'll just be over at Chico High or PV, so you'll be in town and I'll still get to come and hopefully come visit and say hi. But be aware of the change. Like I said, we're not going to have our regular Zoom at 11. Instead, we are going to just have a 1 p.m. Zoom graduation celebration for our friends. So I will see you all there, hopefully. And other than that, remember to be safe if you go outside. Enjoy the beautiful weather, even though it's very hot. And we will talk more tomorrow. Have a beautiful Wednesday.